What is the desync bug? To answer this question, I'm just going to show you a direct cause of the desync bug. But first of all, I'm developing a turn-based fighting game called Ultra Bouters where you take turns against your opponent, and at the end of the battle, your replay gets turned to an epic anime episode. Or at least that's what I'm working towards. Go download and support Ultra Bouters today. But back to the desync bug, check this out. This is Ultra Bouters on the computer, and this is Ultra Bouters on my phone. Now we're in a 1v1 match, my phone versus the computer. And at some point during this match, the match is going to desync and I will not be able to move forward. I will demonstrate. Right, so we're gonna do a dash. We'll do a run here, do a dash there. It usually happens after a knockdown, but sometimes it's random. It's hard to tell when it will hit. Okay, I don't know what just happened there. Still good. And don't go to the very low. Okay, and there we go. We have officially hit a desync. So the computer is stuck on frame 198 and the phone, as you can see, is stuck on frame 195. The two matches have desynchronized. And this is actually a pretty common thing, all depending on what devices are going against each other. And at the beginning, this is driving me insane because I had checked my code a million times, like, why is this happening? But what the cause of this is, this gets a little technical. Essentially, every single device uses a different algorithm for how they go about processing floating point numbers or arithmetic math. So my Pixel 9 here, when asked to calculate a floating point number, which is basically a number that has decimal points, the algorithm it uses to get that number may be slightly different than the algorithm that my computer uses, which might be slightly different than the algorithm that an iPhone uses or a Samsung uses. And oftentimes these differences are really small, like think 0.0001 difference, right? But over time, those differences begin to stack. 0.0001 becomes 0.008, then eventually it'll get to like 0.05, right? That's a huge difference in math to be calculating things like hit distance, movement speed, gravity, and stuff like that. And so once I learned about this, I was like, oh, of course, yeah, this makes sense. You can't use floating points and expect it to be deterministic. And so I created a little system that I was going to do, and I do think it would have worked pretty well. But then I talked to the creator of Yami Hustle, Ivy Sly, and asked him how did he deal with this situation, and he put me on something called fixed point math. And of course, this is a problem that's been long solved a long time ago. And fixed point math is the correct solution here. And why is that? Well, with the current Ultra Bouters engine, I have function calls like jump up with the power of like 17.163 using a floating point input. But with fixed point math, I can just say jump up with the power of 25. And the key difference here is that 17.1368 or whatever I said, when added to the velocity that the characters are already on, will be different depending on the device. But if the velocity for a character is, let's say 50, then I tell it to add 25 to that velocity. That math is always going to equal 75 no matter the device, which should remove all desync bugs. I mean, it's deterministic. I'm working your ass for it. However, it requires me to do a lot of code rewriting. The Ultra Bouters system already is kind of like a custom built engine utilizing Unity, and I was using some of their math libraries, but like now I have to I'm like basically only using Unity for the graphics at this point. But I say all that to say that I've been making progress on implementing the fixed point math into Ultra Bouters, and you can see a bit of the project here, progress here. It's a little technical, and I love talking about technical stuff, but long story short, there's no way for the players to turn around at the moment until I fix that part of the math library. So old Swissy boy cannot turn around and face me at the moment. But a lot of the stuff is still in place. It still works. I can transition. I can do some stuff like taunts. I can do a lot of stuff that doesn't have to deal with any of the physics. But once I start to do physics stuff, you'll see that it's a little broken. It's just gonna keep on going up and up and up. Like there's no gravity or something. I don't know. Things are looking good so far. I'm gonna keep on making progress on this and try and get the physics to feel as close as possible as the previous version, but obviously it's gonna be slightly different. I'm done yapping now. I'm gonna get back to work. Hopefully this explains to you what the desync bug is. Peace out.